So Chewie, we all know about Not My Prime Minister and this video that came out over the weekend.
This is so good. This video is so good.
But hang on, we're getting better. I want to give Not My Prime Minister the credit. Everyone should go follow Not My Prime Minister on TikTok. But do you realize? I didn't realize this because I actually contacted. It's such a long name. I actually connected with Not My and said, could I have the original video? And do you know what he told me? See if you can guess.
You can get it from ACT?
You can get it from ACT. It's on the ACT YouTube channel.
They think that David Seymour comes out so good in this video that they're going to put it out and it's going to make him look good. I hate to tell you this, chat. I hate to be the person that bears this bad news to you. Seymour does not come out good in this video. Not one little bit.
That was the most surprising thing to me. So again, look, we give credit. We get credit who got us the thing. It was Not My Prime Minister on TikTok, but we're going to watch it in full 4K. And this, I only found this out just before the show. But look, this is 8.5 minutes long. So we only watched the first 90 seconds. We're not going to watch for 8.5 minutes. I don't know where it goes afterwards. But the best thing about this, so Mihingarangi Forbes is the person who challenges David Seymour. And you wait till she gets to the media scrum and none of the other journalists say a word. You can just see they're sitting there going, this is gold. Good. This is gold. I'll just hold my microphone. This is gold. I don't have a question. You keep going, Mihi. This is gold. Yeah, so let's have a look at this. And this, I think, it sounds like the sound maybe a bit better on this one as well. So Mihingarangi Forbes, a legendary journalist in New Zealand. I wonder if she's doing Mata again this year. That's what was the name of her show last year. And basically, she just goes hard in the paint, man, about Atlas Network stuff, about all these sorts of things. And I'll say it again. This is on the ACT Party YouTube channel. ACT think this is a win.
I wish you all the best with your taxpayer-funded crackpot documentary. We've seen your questions, and I think you're a joke. Yeah, sorry.
One thing to remind you of, and we know this from times gone by. Remember, Seymour wears a mic with him everywhere. That's why it's so clear. So that's the reason we've got audio. So he's wearing a DJI mic, the same mics we were using at Waitangi, and it's on his lapel. And that's how we've got the audio, because he's been wearing it, they're recording it, actors recording it, and acts put it out. That's why I was confused. I'm like, he's got it's really clear. You can't really hear her, but he's really clear. So this is act's sound and act's video.
I've seen your questions, and I think you're a joke. Yeah, sorry.
You're the party of democracy. In the spirit of democracy, when do I need to get a reader to do my job?
Excuse me. Hi, folks. How you going?
Yeah, got that. Hi, folks. How you going? Everyone, please start talking to me now. We'll have 60 seconds of this is The Simpsons. Stop hitting him. He's already dead. It really is.
Did you say to an candidate that the reaction to your treaty policy would be like civil war?
No, I don't believe I've said that.
The work you did in Canada on Indigenous policy, are you using that as a roadmap here for ACT's treaty policies?
I didn't do any work on Indigenous policy.
Do you still share the views of Dr. Tom Flanagan?
Look, I think he's a professor of politics who's written a lot of things. I think some of them are very right.
Which ones?
Well, he's a guy I haven't actually seen for over a decade. So.
The thing that's also important to remember about any decent journalist, but Mihi in particular, she knows the answers to these questions.
Yeah, you don't ask a question that you don't already know the answer to and have the receipts for.
Yep.
It's a bloodbath.
Yep, it's a bloodbath.
Which ones?
Well, he's a guy I haven't actually seen for over a decade.
His Indigenous policy?
Well, again, I'm not familiar with all his policies, so, you know.
Well, you quoted him in your book.
Just notice I'm just saying again, just notice the other journalists. There's no open mouth. There's no one trying to jump. Like in a media scrum, everyone tries to jump in. There ain't no one trying to jump in for the next question right now.
Well, again, I'm not familiar with all his policies, so, you know.
Well, you quoted him in your book.
Well, you may well have done, but...
And the ACT School of Politics asked for people to read about him.
Well, he's written a book about how to campaign, which is what it was about.
How about Paul Bunner? He claims residential schools in Canada is a bogus...
Well, again, I don't know who that is.
Well, you
So
as the editor of C2C Journal, you platformed him and you quoted thankless task of setting the record straight. So it's the Canadian residential schools are both
10 years ago when we published lots of
and just
people.
a few years
And
before you came
not
into
everyone,
politics,
not everybody that edits something actually agrees with everything that people write
But
under their
you did.
banner.
You agreed
So
with it. You said the thankless task of
Yeah.
setting the record straight.
yeah, well, in that case he was. But
In 2023,
and anyway,
I
look,
asked you
folks,
if you
I
had
tell you
any-
what, I'm here and happy to take any questions from
in
people.
2023
Anybody want to help me
Please.
out here?
Anybody? I'm
Please.
happy to take anyone. What? Hey, the dude walking
a
in the
life
back
break?
there, carrying the coffee. Have you got a question for me? Anyone?
If someone wants
Anybody?
to pull the fire alarm, that's
Please.
fine too.
Anybody?
I
Look,
asked you
folks,
if you
I
had
tell
any-
you what, I'm here and happy to take any questions from people
2023, I
who are
asked you
asking
if you had
actual
any
questions.
connections
Yeah.
to the Atlas network,
All
and
right.
you said no. So, do
Well,
you?
the Hack Party does not.
No,
All
I
right,
said
folks.
you.
Look,
I said you.
I'm here to
I said
take
you.
questions.
Did you-
I'm here to take questions from people about serious matters, not crackpot conspiracy documentaries.
What conspiracy am I a crackpot of?
Several. You have a
Which
question?
ones?
Are you quite excited to see an overhaul of the public services?
And that's
Act?
about where the video on TikTok cut out. I haven't seen the rest of it, so we'll leave it there for now. But oh my goodness!
I'm
I think the police might need to be called because an assault has happened, Chewie.
This
There is an
ain't a
assault on the
murder. It's
tiles.
a murder. I like to think that there's like a really keen young reporter just dying to ask a question to David and wondering why nobody else is jumping in, and this lady is just running him. He goes to answer a question, then one of the more experienced journalists just goes, "No, let me cook."
Just step away from the microphone, young
You've
fella.
gone
Step
to work.
away
Just
from the
look.
microphone.
Just look on. Yeah. He put this up thinking that it makes him look amazing.
Oh my
Like
gosh!
like a commanding leader, well and truly giving it to the left. I saw somebody giving it to somebody else. David Seymour was not the giver; he was the receiver. He was. Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah,
I've seen literal fistfights that were less violent than that video was.
yeah. He might have had to go for a blood transfusion after that one, bro. Honestly, so
Oh.
much left on the floor.
So I guess this is us talking about. We are going to dissect that video when Mihi releases that documentary. It is like that's what's out there now, promoted by ACT.
You said it again. You said promoted by ACT again.
So that's the ACT ad for Mihi's upcoming expose. Which is going to be brutal. She did not ask those questions because she didn't know.
Yeah. So I obviously fired a message. I have no connection with Mihingarangi Forbes, but I fired a question to her, and because I first of all wanted to know where that was from, but that's from 6 days ago because that's on the YouTube channel from 6 days ago. And I've just said we'd love to have you on for a general chat. Even keener to find out more about the so-called crackpot conspiracy documentary. Sounds like a must-watch. We will have a crackpot conspiracy documentary.
I love Mihingarangi Forbes. She's amazing.
Yeah. There's a few of them, eh? Like, I mean, you think about the people that you'd love to always have on because of what they do. I mean, give credit. Jack Tame is one of those people. Mihi's one of those people. Moana is one of those people. John Campbell's one of those people. There's some people who stand above. Is it above the parapet? Anyway, their heads are a little bit higher than the rest of them, not because they place themselves up there, but by the work they do. There's a saying when you're playing basketball, Chewie, and you throw someone the ball on the outside of the 3-point line, and you just go, do work. And what that means is, I don't want the ball back, you score. Do work. And I watch that and I just think, Mihi, do work.
I'm glad you mentioned Moana with Mihi as well, because I think one of the things that we're so lucky to have the two of them as just excellent interviewers, especially. Yeah. Because they bring, like, if you go on Jack Tame's show on Q&A, you expect to get fucking roasted. As we say again and again, you've got to go on that show correct. I think what Mihi and Moana bring to the table, though, is a gentler sort of interviewing. It's no less insightful or incisive, but I think it has the benefit of perhaps luring someone into a false sense of security. And I
Yeah.
mean, especially when we're talking about Moana as well, I don't know if you saw that interview she did with Shane Jones. Was from
I'm not sure.
maybe a month ago.
No, probably not.
She is the only one that I have seen cut through Shane Jones's persona, the mask he puts on,
Yeah.
the performance that he does as a politician. She gets some very honest answers out of him. And he
Yeah.
almost remembers himself halfway through the interview. It's like, go and hunt that out, chat. It is an excellent look on someone who can be, at times, a baffling politician to nail down.
Another one that I put in there based on the documentary work, and that is Paula Penfold as well. And actually, you think about how Mihi was asking those questions, and you're right. There's something in the tone. I can hear Paula. I can hear just those questions back. Look at the one on, what's the name of that Maori conspiracy theorist guy who's a pastor or whatever. Someone will tell me in the chat. And they just, it's like the smiling assassin. I will just go, and you won't even know what's happened, but there'll be blood on the floor. Billy Takaha, is that what it is? Billy Takaha. Yeah. So she's up there as well.
It's got to be the fact that we're talking about 3 women interviewers. They just bring a different style of things, and I think certain people would overlook them for that or underestimate them for that. And I just think that the skill set that they bring and the talents that they bring to this, like, we all benefit from it. But I'm almost watering at the mouth for this documentary now.
Yeah.
It's like when someone's cooking a really good steak in another room and it's just wafting in. Like,
here's an interesting question from Kaituhi. Kaituhi says, Pat, are other reporters curtailed by their media companies? So who did we list? Moana, Māori Television, public broadcaster, basically. Mihi, RNZ, public broadcaster. Jack, TVNZ, public broadcaster. Paula Penfold is still stuff. Probably the only one that you'd say of that list that we've got that's a commercial thing. So I don't know. Maybe there's something in that it's like when a professor gets tenure. It basically means they're free to do whatever now. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe that's why, sorry to tell you this, conspiracy theorist, public funding of news broadcasting is so bloody important, because then you don't have to worry about the sponsor in case they're in a story about leaking gas into the harbour. Maybe that's actually, we have to have at least public broadcasting.
And this was a good example when media companies are shedding people in their newsrooms and that sort of thing. This is the cooling effect that it has on our journalism, right? Is that, yes, you will have reporters now that are like, if I piss off the wrong person, I'm out of work. Like, there's so many people that are looking for this job. If I fuck up, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And those voices that are there, like I see people mentioning in the chat, Kim Hill. Love Kim Hill's interviews.
RNZ.
Just the dismissiveness, the ability to cut through obvious spin.
Yeah.
Oh, I cackled during her interviews. But yeah, there are people out there doing excellent work. And then there are a lot of people out there doing, we have big criticisms of the media for just taking politicians at their word, repeating their press releases without a critical eye on it at all, or just I want these journalists and these organizations to go, well, here's the statement from David Seymour. We've looked into it. It's fucking all bullshit.
Yeah.
And here's column inches telling you why, instead of just repeating it verbatim. And a lot of people would say, oh, it means they've got a left lean or whatever. No, do it to everyone. Like, we've said this about Jack Tame. Like, he has been brutal to left or right. He is brutal to anyone that comes before him and does not come correct. Like, I think back to that interview he did with Chippy. Chippy did not come out of that smelling of roses. So yeah, come correct. Hold their feet to the fire, whether they're left or right. I want people to be doing the job of politics on their fucking A game, and it should be dangerous for them to lie and mislead the electorate. whether they're left or right, whether they're Greens, Māori, Labour, National, ACT, New Zealand First, the whole lot of them. They should be fearful of journalists.